First off, we have Ryan Maine here with us today on Weighing In with Travis Hartman. We just spoke off camera, and it kind of sucks because Ryan Maine is following up Terrence Crawford. But you know what? You're undefeated. Big shoes to
Right.
fill. I get it, but you're fighting in your very first ever main event. I wanna
hmm
I wanna thank you for coming on the show. First of all, with Weighing In with Travis Hartman, we appreciate you taking the time away because I know this is fight week, and I know you're
Right.
fighting on Saturday. First of all, again, congratulations. This is your first main event, and
Yep.
what a
Thank you.
nickname
Thank
that you
you.
have, Main Event Maine. You're made for
hmm
this.
Yeah, man. Um, it's been a long time coming. I'm excited for it. Like you said, it's my name, main event. So, even if I'm the first fight or I'm the last fight, every time I go out there, like my goal is to be the main event, is to put on a show for everyone. That really is the goal for me.
So Ryan Maine, you're 3-0 with three knockouts. You're starting your professional career undefeated. You've knocked out
hmm
everybody you faced. A
hmm
hellacious start. Congratulations on that too. But I want to rewind a little bit and kind of let people know that you did fight amateur career. You had an amateur career. How many
hmm
amateur fights did you have before you end up turning pro?
Uh, what was it? I think I had about 11 fights. I was 9-2. Two of them I lost, unfortunately, but yeah, not a crazy amateur background though. I kind of started in the game a little bit later. I started boxing when I was 18, and then I didn't compete till I was about like 19. It took like an entire year to get ready for that first fight.
Yeah, but that's good though, because I know that you've been training for a while, even though you only have 11 amateur fights. You've been training pretty hard for a while. So you kind of have
Right.
that on your side and you've been training alongside your trainer, right? That's Craig Duncan as well, right?
Craig Danger Duncan. Yep. I owe that man literally everything. Everything I know is because of him. He has taught me so much, man. With life, boxing, just everything. I first moved up here 6, 7 years ago just to go to school. Like fighting wasn't even it wasn't a discussion.
Yeah.
Um, and then I just met Craig, and just everything fell into place. He made me fall in love with the sport, and I got addicted to it.
Oh, I share that passion with you, brother. And you're right. It's an addiction for sure. Like
Yeah.
it's an addiction. So first off, where did you move from? Give me a little bit of history about yourself. Where did you come from before you moved to Florida? You're talking about Orlando, Florida. That's where you moved to. But where did you come from
Mm.
before that?
So I lived in Florida my whole life. I lived down South Florida, down in Broward and Davie. Went to
Okay.
school in Fort Lauderdale at St. Thomas, and then um, after graduation, I kind of wanted to get away from home, but also still be close enough that I can still go see my family. 3 hour drive. It's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I moved up here about 6 years ago. Just and it's funny because when I first moved up here, I literally, like I said, I had no ambition of fighting or anything, doing like that. I just one day typed in UFC gym just because I used to wrestle and play football, so I still wanted to get some kind of workout like that. And I went to the UFC gym, and again, just I'd met Craig. Just it's funny how the world works.
Yeah, I
How
mean,
it
like,
puts people in it.
yeah, and I talked about this with a lot of people that and I don't know how your religious beliefs are. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but I do
Mm,
believe in God, and I do believe that certain people cross our paths for a certain reason, and people are put
hmm
in our way for a certain reason. And for me, I believe that's God. But
Right.
so yeah, that's pretty cool that he kind of was put in your position, and you guys just kind of ran with it. And
Yeah.
so going back to your amateur career, at what point did you and Craig sit down and be like, you know what? I think I want to turn pro.
It was always something to talk about. Like, when I was fighting amateur, it was always talked about, but my main thing, because I made a promise to my parents, like I was coming up here to go to school. I was coming up here to get a degree. Like that fighting, that had to come second. And that was a rule Craig had for me. He said, look, you got to get your degree first. If you get your degree and you graduate and you still want to do it, I'm all for you. But first things first, you got to get that degree. That is the main goal. And then after that, I fell in love with it, and it just made me want to do it more. It's like, okay, finally graduate. Like, now it's time to fight.
So you got a degree then. What's your degree?
I have a bachelor's in criminal justice,
Right on, man.
and
I did not know that. Congratulations. That's pretty cool,
thank you.
actually.
Yeah, I graduated last summer, last August. So I've been out of it for a year and went right into fighting.
So you're just checking things off the box right now. You're like, boom, amateur career. Boom, I got my degree. Boom, I'm professional. Now you're checking another box. You're the main event, actually the main event. Where are these fights at? I know they're September 30th. They're right here in Orlando, Florida, but where exactly are they happening?
They're going to be at the Wyndham Resort on I Drive, Wyndham Resort and Conference Center. I don't know the address on top of my head, but that's where it's going to be at. That's the home of Boxlight right now.
Yeah, and that's another thing. So Boxlight is promoting this, and you fought most of your fights or all of your fights on Boxlight Promotions cards. Is that correct?
Two of my fights were on Boxlight. One of them was for M&R Promotions down in Miami at the Mikasuki Casino.
That's right. I remember seeing you go down there to fight like your second or your, yeah, I think it was your second pro fight. I think it was. Yep. So have you signed exclusively with Boxlight? Are they kind of guiding your career right now, along with Craig, obviously, who's your trainer?
Right.
Are they kind of guiding your career at this point?
As of right now, yeah. You know, we got a good system going on right now. It's my team right now is Gonzo, Angel. Those are the two Boxlight heads, and then Craig, Duncan, and Jason Galarza. That is my team. You know, we work pretty well together. If, you know, Gonzo has his shows, I'm obviously going to fight on those shows, but he's also trying to get me in other promotions. So like when I went down to Miami, for example, he's just trying to get me fighting constantly, no matter where it is.
Just getting you that experience. That's what it's all about right now, especially being pro, is you get that experience early on, get those wins out of the way, get a little bit of experience, learn from that, especially you had 11 amateur fights. So you're still getting some experience as well in the pro game. So the fights are September 30th, this Saturday. They're at the Wyndham. Is there tickets available, or how can people get tickets? Can they message you guys on Instagram, go to a website? How do they get those?
So you can either message me on Instagram at Main Event Maine, or you can go to boxlight.com to purchase your tickets online. Tickets are not going to be sold at the door, unfortunately. So tickets, you got to get them before you get to the door. Otherwise, they're not going to let you in.
That's right on. So I'll make sure we'll put a link up here for boxlight.com, and then I'll also put a link for your @handle on Instagram if that works for you. So people can reach out to you. So that's this Saturday. How has your training camp at all been any different since you are the main event, or are you guys just kind of business as usual with Craig?
It's business as usual. I'd say the only thing we really changed up this camp is we did a little bit more traveling for sparring, try to get higher level opponents. It was actually really cool. I went down to St. Pete, got to meet Keith Thurman, sparred with a couple of his guys. You know, that was really cool. That's no, it was, dude, it was awesome. It was a different atmosphere, you know, going to this other gym, having these guys around, you know, it was a good time, really.
So also, I don't think the viewers know this, but you train at School of Hard Knocks. Is that correct? That's kind of like, that's your home gym as well.
That is home base.
And that is, I think, is that Jason Galarza that owns School of Hard Knocks?
Yes. Jason is the owner of SOHK.
And they're located in Castleberry. Is that correct as well?
Yep. Castleberry, right off of Anchor Road.
So something pretty cool that I saw, which just happened last weekend. Obviously, if people were watching DAZN, there were boxing matches on DAZN on Saturday here in Orlando. But what was cool is Eddie Hearn and like Richardson Hitchens and those guys were at School of Hard Knocks. So I got to throw that to you. How cool was that, man? Now you rubbed elbows a little bit with like Keith Thurman, which is, I mean, the guy's a world champion, was a world champion.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. But now you got the royalty almost of boxing right now, which was Eddie Hearn. Richardson Hitchens was like 16, 17-0. He's a little further along in his career than you, obviously. But how was it seeing those guys? And did you take anything from meeting those guys at School of Hard Knocks?
Dude, it was really cool. Like when they came in, you just felt the atmosphere change. Like the gym was jam packed. We had so many people come out, and you know, listen to Richardson, having him tell his story, kind of like how he was starting out, just like everyone in the gym. You know, like just working, grinding. You know, having the passion, and then seeing where it led him. You know, we're in the same shoes he was. You know, we're in the same exact position he was, and if he can do it, there's no reason why no one else in the gym can do it too. You know.
Absolutely. And I don't like to look forward too much, because I know this as a pro boxer too, that you just can't look forward too much, but not looking forward, not looking past this fight necessarily. But What's your guys's what's your goal for the end of the year, for next year, for 2024? What do you guys have you guys really set anything in stone of like, this is what you want to achieve for this
Hmm.
date, for this month, for this, 2, 3 years into your career? Have you really talked about that, or do you have that kind of in mind?
We have it in mind. Like there's nothing set in stone yet for like fights per se, but after this fight, we might try to get just one more fight for the end of the year, just so we end on 5 fights. Really trying to just push and work and try to build the record. But the main thing that's going to be happening towards the end of this year and next year is going out traveling to other camps. Going out to meet different sparring partners, get different looks, and really try to expand my boxing knowledge and get better as a fighter. Because that's really what I'm trying to do is
Yeah,
just get better.
absolutely. So yeah, and I also seen that, so you've slowly been working your way down in weight as well I seen from your pro
Yeah.
debut. So that's another thing. What is your guys' target weight? Where do you really see yourself campaigning at that? Let's say that elite level. Let's just say that you
Hmm.
get to 10, 15, 16 and 0. What weight do you guys think you're going to be best at?
I think personally, I'm going to be best at 154. I'm doing this fight at 158, and I've only been at 158 one other time. That was my last fight, and I felt really good. I felt strong. Like obviously, day of the weigh-in, I'm drained. I'm dehydrated. I'm not feeling good, but as soon as I got some food in me, I felt good and strong again. So I definitely think I can go down to 154. I might try to touch 147. Just got to see how 54 feels, but we 147 is in debate. Thinking about going down there if we can.
That seems pretty healthy. I think that you have the stamina, you have the power, you have the speed as well,
Mm,
to compete at 54,
yeah.
especially 60 and even 60. I think, was your pro debut around 68?
My pro debut was at 168. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you have all those capabilities, man. And the best thing that I could say, listen to Craig, and I think that this guy's proven
Hmm.
time and time again, because he was a seasoned professional himself,
Yeah.
undefeated professional boxer. So obviously Craig knows what he's doing, and you guys seem to have a really good rapport. I don't know you guys, like I'm not like best friends with you guys, but I know you guys. But I see
Mm,
from the outside that it looks like it just works and it gels.
yeah.
And all I can tell you is from my experience that have somebody like that in your corner that knows you in and out, you
Yeah.
train with daily, you trust, and I think you have that. So keep that, harness that, brother. And I like the fact that you said you're going to be traveling more for sparring and stuff like that. I think that's
Yeah.
really good. That's the best kind of experience you can get without risking a loss early.
Hmm.
So you don't have to risk those losses now. Go get in those camps, go get in those Crawford camps, go get in those Thurman camps, go get in any camps possible. So which leads
Yeah.
me to my next question as well. So now that you're campaigning at, you think 154, right?
Hmm.
Um, and do these guys have any kind of shows planned in 2024 yet, or you're still just kind of waiting to get this one over with? I'm talking specifically about Boxlight. Do they have anything
Boxlite.
planned for 2024 yet?
Most definitely. Yeah, I know Boxlite's going to have more shows for next year. I don't know the exact dates. I don't know how many. I just know there are going to be shows, and if they're having a show, I'm most likely going to be doing that.
And so now I know that, and what most people don't realize in boxing is when you first turn pro, you kind of start out with 4 rounders, 6 rounders,
Hmm.
8 rounders, 10, 12. 12 is title fights, obviously. And you've
Hmm.
had your fair share. Obviously, you haven't been the distance yet because you're knocking people out, which is a good thing. But so how many rounds is this one scheduled for this Saturday?
This fight's going to be my first 6 round fight,
Okay,
which I'm
nice.
I'm extremely excited for because honestly, I see myself as an 8 round fighter already.
Yeah.
I get better as the fight goes on. I like dragging into deep waters. That's where I feel the most comfortable. I wrestled in high school, so I'm used to having to perform when tired, when exhausted. That's honestly where I thrive because it's the mental aspect. Who's going to break first? Who's going to give out first? That's my kind of fight. A 4 round fight, I could be technically better than the guy, but it's a 4 round fight, so anything can happen. So I'm really just trying to get to those higher level rounds sooner the better.
Yeah, I think what people don't realize is you're right. I think those 4 round fights, they're more of sprints and anything can
Yeah.
happen. So it's tough. You have to be very careful early on. And you guys have done well. Like I said, you're 3-0, 3 knockouts. You're young. You're fighting in your first 6 round fight this Saturday at the Wyndham here in Orlando. So also, do you guys, are you thinking about, I guess, like, have you had any specific sparring partners specifically for this fighter that you're fighting? Or have you just kind of been just getting the most experience as you can right now? You haven't really been sparring partner specific yet.
Haven't been sparring partner specific yet. Really just trying to get as many rounds in as possible. I forget his last name, but two of the Thurman's guys. One's Joseph. I believe he fights at 168, 160. He's a 3-0 pro. I did a couple rounds with him. Another guy that was big in the camp, his name's Sonny. He's a 12-5 pro. He was really good work, you know. And even I want to give a shout out to one of our in-house guys. His name's Mickey. This man, Mickey, is tough, man. He's one of my favorite people to train with, because we can have a tough sparring session where we're just trying to take each other's heads off, but we can also just, you know, get in there and work on the craft, like work on stuff and not take each other's heads off, you know. So he's a real big help in the camp too. He's always going to be in it.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. You definitely need stuff like that for camps, for sure. You need that guy, a sparring partner that's going to push you in certain ways, but also a guy who, this is what people don't understand about boxing. It's kind of cool and it's kind of weird at the same time, but you can beat the crap out of each other. And then when you're done, you're like, that's your buddy. Like you went to war with that guy, and nobody will understand that ever until they actually do it. And yeah, that's what I think that people don't realize about boxing is it's a special sport, because that very reason you could go to battle with this guy and like ring his bell, bloody him up. But when you guys are done, you're like, you know what? You're my boy. Like, I appreciate you helping me.
Love.
Like, yeah. And that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you're on this journey, because I love boxing. It's just, you know, I competed my whole life. I train people. I have my own gym. I do the podcast. But at the end of the day, I'm a fan of boxing. And that's why I do this. That's why me and Brandon started the podcast, Weighing In with Travis Hartman, because we're a huge fan. And I love to have guys like you who are early in your career. But also what I love about you is your passion. And that's, you cannot deny passion. And when you have the passion for a sport, you're going to go places. Keep that passion, keep that fire, man. And I want to thank you again for taking time out of your day to come on the podcast. I know it's right after Terrence Crawford, but it doesn't matter. Everybody started somewhere, right? Like Crawford did too, man. Like everybody starts somewhere. So I just want to let everybody know, tune in this Saturday at the Wyndham in Orlando, Florida. Ryan, Main Event Maine, is fighting in his first 6-rounder. Come see this guy. I've seen this guy train. I've seen this guy do a lot over the years. Not close up, but I've seen you from afar and I've been watching you. And I know that you're a big fan of boxing. So last thing, do you have anything that you want to tell your fans? Do you have anything that you want to tell everybody what to expect on Saturday night for your first main event?
My first main event, I'm going to be the main event. I'm going to put on a show. That's what I aim to do every single time, you know. I just want to perform. I want to be, I know it's not boxing, but I'm sure you know Donald Cerrone, Cowboy.
Yep.
I want to be like him, you know. Even when I was younger, I would be like, oh, Cowboys fighting tonight. Let's go watch the fight. It's not a title fight, but Cowboys fighting. We got to see it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I want. I want people to gather around at the bar, gather around the TV to get the pay-per-view because I'm fighting, because I'm entertaining. That's really my whole thing, is I want to be an entertaining fighter and put on a show for everyone.
Well, if anybody wants to listen to me on this, I could tell them that if they come and watch you, that they will be entertained, because there's no way that Ryan Maine is not coming out there and giving 100%, win or lose. And I know this, and I can say this confidently, that you're coming out, win or lose. Obviously, I hope you win, but win or lose, he's giving 100%. And that's what pro boxing is all about. That's what people buy tickets for. They want to see the guy give 100%. And I can tell everybody, go see Ryan Maine this Saturday at the Wyndham, boxlight.com, or message Ryan Maine on Instagram. Main Event Maine is his handle. We'll also put it on here. But Ryan, thanks again, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Travis, thank you, man.
God bless, brother.
God bless.